I'm going to explain chapter end of class 6 English story. So without delay, I'm going to explain. This is a extract from Charles Dickens novel David Copperfield. Now this is extract means part of the story that has been taken from the Charles Dickens novel. The novel name is David Copperfield. Young David has finished school and is excited to step into a big wide world of grown up. Now what happened in this novel, there is one young character and his name is David. He has finished his schooling and now he is very excited to enter in the grown up world. He wants to be taken seriously and pretend to be much traveled and experienced. At the same time he had desire that he wants to be taken seriously by the other people. For the other people they should give him so much respect and they should give him respect and look seriously and pretend to be much travel and experienced, and he wants to show that what he was very much experienced and he has traveled a lot. Pretend means show off. Does he succeed? Now, first line, I don't know whether I was glad or sad when my school days ended and I left Dr. Strong's. Now narrative saying what he was not sure whether he was happy or sad when he left his schools because his school days were ended, schooling was over, and he left Dr. Strong. Dr. Strong, you can see the headmaster of David's school, means what he was very close to the headmaster of David's school. I have been very happy there. I found doctor. He says he was very happy there and was loved by the doctor. I was popular in that little world. For these reasons I was sad to leave. And he says I was very popular in that school, that's why I was feeling bit sad to leave. But I was glad for other silly reason. For other silly foolish reason he says I was happy. Unclear ideas of being an independent young man. First he says that his ideas were unclear because now he has become independent young man and his importance, and he was not knowing the importance of independent young man, of the wonderful things that he can see and do, and wonderful thing was that he was able to see and whatever he wanted to do he could do, and the wonderful ways in which he can express society quite excited me. And now he was very happy that he could impress this society by his own way. That's why that made him quite excited. Next line. These ideas influenced my boy's mind so strongly that I left school without much regret. Influenced means effect, and these effects of his boy's mind was very strong, very effective rather, that he left the school without much regret, without much sadness. I can't remember how I felt about the leaving school and how I left it. And he said what he cannot remember that what he was feeling when he was leaving the school. I suppose the beginning of a new life confused me because he feels that the beginning of life that made him confused. He was not sure what is going to happen in his life. That's why he was feeling less regretted. I know that my adolescent experiences did not much amount to much. Adolescent music, you can say, time when a person grown up from a child to an adult. Means I know that my adolescent experience amount did not amount to much. Means what he was not having adult experience too much, and that life was more likely a great fairy tale, and he was believing that his life was like a fairy tale, imaginary story that is not real, which I was just about to read, which he was going to read, because he was going to enter in a grown-up world. He was going to feel, experience those had many serious discussion about my future for a year or more. I had tried to find a good enough answer to her oft repeated question, opposite oftenly. Now, his aunt and he had many serious discussion for his futures, later future rather, and for years or more than that. Even he tried to get the answer of his aunt, which she used to ask frequently. And what was that question? What you you like to be? Means what you want to be in your future? But there was nothing I particularly liked. If I had known how to sail a ship and travel the world to make a great discovery, I might have considered that a suitable life. He says what? I was not much interested in any field, but if he says if I would be a sailor of the ship and I would travel to the world and there I would make great discovery. So he says that that would be my best life. He considered that as his best life. Means what he loved sailing and to explore new things across the world. Since there was not the case, I desired to pursue something that wouldn't require her to spend too much money. Now, since here the case was different and he desired to pursue whatever his aunt wants to because he was not interested to spend his aunt money much. Now next line. Now she says, I also desire to do well in it, whatever it turned out to be. And he was feeling that whatever the profession he was going to choose, there he would do good. He would get success. My dear, said my aunt. Now that means the boy name is Trot, and his auntie says, my dear, one morning in the Christmas season when I left the school, and it was the Christmas season when that Trot left the school, as this naughty point is still unsettled, and she says that naughty point means what? Complicated and difficult matter. That is not clear, means what your future is still your thought that is not clear, means what you want to be. You're confused, and as we must not make a mistake in our decision, it would be better if we give it some time. And she says that we should not make mistake and we should not make hurry as well. So we are giving you time to think about yourself for a future plan. In the meantime, you must look at it from the new point of view, and you can look to your life from the new beginning and not as a schoolboy and live as a schoolboy. Start living. Don't think as a schoolboy because now you are grown up and now you have left the school. I will earn. Now the Trot answered, I will do the same. It has occurred to me, my aunt went on, that a little change. Now what happened? It has occurred to me. Now he realized that it was happened to him after his aunt's suggestion. He realized little change in him, a glimpse of the world outside. Whatever the things he was getting outside, that was looking change, may help you make up your mind, and that would help him to make up his mind. Sorry, his aunt said that it has occurred to me, my aunt went on, that a little change, a glimpse of world outside may help you make up your mind. Now she says, sorry, that this outside beauty and whatever the change you are going to get in this world, that will help you to change yourself. You could visit the old part of the country again, for instance, and see that old woman with the wild names. And she said that what even you visit to the old part of the country, and for example, in there you will get what different kinds of women having wild name, very rubbing her nose. That time she was scratch or rubbing her nose. Of all things in the world, aunt, I should like it the best. Now, God said what? That thing is what? To see those women I like the best. Well, said my aunt, that's lucky for I should like it too. Now, his auntie said what? Even I like those pictures, means of those women, so much. But it's a natural and voice that you should like it, and she says it's natural, it's a voiceful as well. It's a good decision if you're liking them. I am sure that anything you do and whatever you are going to do, thought will always be natural and voice. Whatever you will do, that will be natural. This what you will not pretend, you will not show off, and that will be voiceful. This was good decision. I hope so, aunt. Now Trot said what? I hope so. I have the same feeling. But what I want to be Trot, continued my aunt, is a farm fellow. Now his auntie continued and she asked, what do you want to be in the future? Is a farm fellow. First you should be very strong, firm fellow person, means what who could have power to take decision in time without any hesitation. Now, a fine fellow and firm fellow with a will of your own. Now, his auntie says that you should be very firm, very strong from inside, and your willpower should be very strong. And whatever the decision you take, you should take with the strong determination. And she says further with resolution means you can say decision to do or not to do something, means what you should have resolution as well, means what you should have caliber to decide the things to do or not to do, and you have to have determination with strength of character that cannot be influenced. You should have very strong character, and that character could not be affected by other person except for the good reason. Except you are having good reason, means suppose if you can help somebody by lying, so that time we should lie like that, except for good reason by anyone or anything, that can be for anyone or for anything. That's why I want you to be, and that's why I want to make you like that. That's what your father and mother might both have been. Even she says what I feel that the same feeling your father and mother would be having. Heaven knows, God knows, means she's not sure and his parents are not there. I told her that I hoped I would be what she wanted me to be. And now Trot said that I hope that I would become whatever she is looking for. I will go in the same field where she wanted, Trot says, so that you may begin to rely on yourself and to act for yourself. Now she says further, rely means or trust. So she says that means you should have trust on yourself and you should act accordingly for yourself, said my aunt. I shall send you on your trip alone. I did not think asking Mr. Dick to go with you. And she says that now I'm going to send you alone for the trip, and I'm not going to send Mr. Dick. Mr. Dick, actually, he's a, you can say kind of a servant, and his name is Mr. Dick. And Trot's aunt, she plans to send him with Trot, but suddenly she says, "What does you can hear? You can listen." I did think of asking Mr. Dick to go with you, but on second thought, now she got a second thought, I shall keep him to take care of me. But she says what? He means what? He would help me to take care of mine. Mr. Dick Mr. Dick looked a little disappointed until the pride and honor of taking care of the most wonderful woman in the world made him cheerful again. first, Dick was quite disappointed, but afterward, he felt very pride and honored as he listened from that lady, and he was considering that lady is the most wonderful woman in the world. And his words, as she says that he will take care of me, that made him happy. He started feeling happy. My aunt gave me a generous sum of money. Miss what? Generous means you can say the sufficient amount of money, a portmanteau, you can say carry bag that is you can open into, and you can see here traveling suitcase that open into two parts, and a loving goodbye. At the time of leaving, she gave me some good advice and many kisses. She said that since her wish was that I should take care of myself and think for myself. During the departure of Trot, what happened? She was there and she showed her affection love by kissing him many times, and at the same time she wished that Trot would take care of himself and he would think about himself. Means what, he should be very alert during his trip. I should stay a few days in London, and she said that he should stay a few days in London if I wanted to, if Trot wanted to. She said I could do it either on my way to Suffolk or when returning. And she said, "What you can do that thing when you will go towards the Suffolk." Suffolk is a kind of you can say city. There she said, "What when you will go towards, then you can stay in London for a while, and or you can when you will come back, then you can go to the London." So I was free to do as I wish for about a month. So I got a month to do anything according to my wish. Who says? Trot says. She set no other condition apart from advice to look after myself and think for myself. And now Aunt did not she did not put any other condition except she said to take care of himself and think about himself. And I promised to write to her three times a week and to tell her honestly how I was doing. And she asked from Trot that he would write three times in a week to her, and there he would tell about honestly how he was doing. Means whatever he is doing, he would inform in those later honestly how he is doing. The main object on my mind, I remember when I had begun my journey, was to appear as old as possible to the coachman. Now, first thing what he was thinking, that what he wanted to show, he wanted to appear himself, he wanted to represent himself a very grown up, experienced person in front of coachman. Coachman, you can see the guide, like a guide, and to speak in a brusque manner. Brusque manners means you can see rudely, and he started talking very rudely. Although it was a little difficult to speak like that, I still stuck to it, for I felt it was a grown up sort of the thing. He was feeling quite uncomfortable, but he was stuck on that thing, means what, he was continuously doing that thing only because he thought that is the part of grown up society. "You are going through, sir," said the coachman. Now he asked, "You are going through, sir?" Coachman. "Yes, William." What was the name of coachman? William. I said condescendingly. Condescendingly means what? Means in a self-important manner to show how you are superior to other. Means what, he showed himself very superior and then he answered very rudely. I knew him. And now Trot was knowing him. "I'm going to London. I shall go down to Suffolk afterward. And after London I will go to Suffolk City as well." We went to the Golden Cross at Charing Cross. Now they reached to the Golden Cross that was present at the Charing Cross. These are the name of places. Then then to an odd inn in a crowded neighboring. There they reached to the odd inn. Odd inn, I and inn means what, hotel. There was a very means what, odd looking, so not in a good condition hotel, and The neighbor, the adjacent part of, you can say, the neighboring part that was very crowdy rather. A waiter showed me into the coffee room and a chambermaid introduced me to my small bed chamber. Now there was one waiter in that inn. He showed talk to the coffee room, the way of coffee room, and at the same time he got a chambermaid, means what you can say a lady who helped in taking care of bedroom, and she introduced to him to the bed chamber, means what where he was going to stay. It smelled like a hackney coach. Now that room was smelling like hackney coach. Hackney coach, you can see a carriage pulled by a hackney, a breed of horse, and was shut up like a family vault, and that was closed like a vault like a, you can say, tomb. That was closed like a tomb. Nobody looked awed by me. Now nobody was surprised. Awed means surprised from him, making me painfully aware of my youth, and that's why the trot was getting frustrated and he was feeling that he is still a very young man. He is not grown up. The chambermaid didn't care of my opinion on any subject, while the waiter, sensing my inexperience, offered advice. Now the chambermaid means what that lady, she was not taking care of Trot's advice because she was not taking him seriously as he was not grown up. At the same time, you can see the waiter, he was experiencing that Trot was very inexperienced person and he was advising him again and again. He was giving him advice again and again. Well now, said the waiter in a tone of confidence, what would you like for the dinner, young gentleman? Like poultry in the general? Have a fowl. Now, he asked, gentleman, what do you want for the dinner? And gentleman, are you looking for the poultry? You can poultry means miss hen hen rather. Have a fowl, a chicken, you can say. Have a fowl, will you have chicken? I told him as impressively as I could that I wasn't in the mood of a fowl, and he said, "But I'm not in the mood to have chicken and all this thing." Aren't you, said the waiter, young gentlemen are generally tired of mutton, have cutlet. Now he said, aren't you? You are not interested. And young gentlemen, mostly they are tired of from these mutton, chickens, all this thing. Now will you have cutlet? No. I agreed to this and only because I was unable to suggest anything else. And he said I suggested to I ordered for cutlet because he was not getting anything any other dish in his mind at that moment. Do you care of tatters? Said the waiter with a cunning smile, with a very strange smile. And he said, what do you think about the potatoes as well? I should bring the potatoes as well. Young gentlemen are generally overfed with the tatters because young generation they mostly like to have potatoes. I ordered him in my deepest voice to get a cutlet and potatoes and everything else that would go with them. Now Trot ordered him to bring cutlets as well as potato and along with all the material which comes with them. And two, inquired if there were any letter for Trotwood Copperfield Esquire, and he asked from the waiter if he had he has any letter of Trotwood Copperfield Esquire. You can see what is the meaning Esquire. England, in the past, a formal title written after the name of a man belonging to the high society. Means what Trotwood Copperfield belonged to very high society, and if somebody used to get a letter from him, it was thinking that that person belongs to a very rich family. I knew there couldn't be any, but I thought it manly to appear that I was expecting once. He was sure, Mr. Trot was sure that there is no letter, and there could not be any letter because he was not knowing, he was not rather connected with, he was not in touch with the Trotwood Copperfield, but he showed himself as a grown-up person. I thought it mainly to appear that I was expecting one, and he showed himself that what he was really expecting, that the letter of Trotwood Copperfield. He soon came back to say that there were none, at which I acted surprised and began to lay the cloth of my dinner on a table by the fire. Now the waiter came back and he said, well, there is no letter from the Trot, Trotwood Copperfield, and I gave surprise expression and started laying the clothes for my dinner on the table, the side of the fire, by the fire rather. After dinner, being in a pleasant mood, I decided to go and see a play. Now, after having dinner, he was very happy and he decided to see a play, a drama rather. I chose Covent Garden Theatre. He chose that garden, that was the name of theatre, Covent Garden. You listen carefully, children. There, from the back of the center box, I saw Julius Caesar and the new pantomime. There he was sitting in the middle row, middle row at the back, from the back, from the center box, and there he was enjoying the play of Julius Caesar and the new pantomime. Pantomime, a Britain a theatrical performance which has music and jokes and humor. Humor is fun. At school, these Romans had seemed stern and difficult. Now, Todd says these people, when he was at the school, these people, means Roman people, looks very serious, very difficult to understand, but here they were walking in and out for my entertainment, but here he was getting these people for this what they were playing in front of me, and they were working as a entertainment. I found it refreshing and delightful. That's why he was feeling very happy and delightful, but the show mixture of reality and mystery at the same time found the show that was mixture, means there was a reality and the mystery and the influence and the effect of the poetry, the light, the music, the company, the glittering and brilliant scenery were so dazzling. Listen, the light of that play, the stage around, the music, the company, the glittering is shining and brilliant scenery, brilliant pictures all around. They were so dazzling, very brightly, very attractive, and so endlessly delightful, and they were very delightful as well. That when I came out to the rainy street at midnight, and when he came out after the play, and that was the rainy midnight, to the street, I felt as I had come from the fantastic place where I had been living an adventurous life, and now he was feeling that he has come from a very fantastic place where he was having adventurous life. He was enjoying that play a lot, to a noisy, poorly lit, muddy, and miserable world. To a noisy, now he came out that world was very noisy and having poor light. Muddy as well means what quite dirty, and miserable, that was miserable means what he was not happy from that world. So students, it will help you to understand this chapter very well. Thank you. Have a nice day.